Dear friends, family, and colleagues, word on the street is that you think fasting's crazy. Well, it's time you and I have a little bit of a chat about fast shaming. And no, I'm not talking about fat shaming because that's a whole other ball game. So let's start with the fact that for years, I sat at my desk gorging myself with candies and sugar and snacks, and nobody ever said that was unhealthy. And then at social gatherings, I was always the one and had 3 helpings at the buffet, but nobody ever said that's unhealthy. And then at Christmas parties, when I was the one to eat scraps and snack before dinner time, nobody ever said that was unhealthy. So why is it that now, all of a sudden, I'm trying to improve my health and I'm fasting and everybody thinks that's so unhealthy? When for years you watched me as I gained pounds and pounds and pounds of weight and became obese and nobody ever said anything. Why? I don't understand. I understand you think it's crazy, but at least give me the opportunity to explain to you why it's not crazy and why maybe you need to dig a little bit deeper and do a little bit of research before you do some fast shaming. So think about it this way. Our species has been doing fasting since the beginning of time. Our ancestors used to be hunter-gatherers, which meant that they needed to go out, hunt their prey, come back, feast on the meal, and then they would go a period of time before they ate again, which was called fasting. That's been happening since the beginning of time. Think of this another way. Almost every single religion since the beginning of time incorporates some sort of fasting into their religion. In Christianity, we all know that there's a big period of feasting around Christmas time, and that feast is followed by a fast around Lent. In Islam, there's the holy month of Ramadan, for one entire month that you don't eat or drink from sunrise to sunset. That's fasting too. In Hinduism and Buddhism, they have a lot of fasting that revolves around more spiritual aspect of fasting. A lot of them do fasting to live a longer life, to live a healthier life, and they practice fasting as a disciplinary regimen. So they do fasting in combination with meditation to live a healthier life. Even in Judaism, they have days of full day fasting like Yom Kippur. So tell me again, why is it that all of a sudden you think fasting is crazy? Fasting's been around far longer than this man-made concept of 3 meals a day. If we're talking about crazy here, how crazy is it that you wake up in the morning, eat a meal, then on the way to work you have a snack, and then at lunch you have your lunch meal, and then in the afternoon you have a snack again, and then at dinner you eat your dinner meal, and then in the evening you have your post-dinner snack or your late night snacking. So tell me again, how come that's not crazy? You're eating every 2 or 3 hours. So tell me what's actually crazy. Because I don't eat breakfast and lunch? Or is it crazy because you eat meals every 2 hours when you're not even hungry and you don't need that much food? In today's modern society, with that much access to food, we don't need to be eating every 2 hours by any means, especially with the huge skyrocketing problem of obesity. So you're telling me that skipping a couple meals to live a longer, healthier life is crazy? Well, think again, because the truth is, I'm doing what's been going on since the beginning of time. And you're only doing something that really started to come in play when society decided that we're gonna do the 3 square meals a day with some snacking, which was all a bunch of propaganda from the food corporations to convince people to buy more food so they make more profit. They weren't even making enough profit by eating lunch and dinner. So they had to start telling us and convincing us that breakfast is the most important meal of the day to ensure that people would eat breakfast and spend money on breakfast foods. Not only that, but if you think they were making enough money, no. Then they introduced the snack food business. So then all of a sudden, snacks became the most important thing ever to sustain yourself throughout the day and give you a spike in energy. We don't need snacks. Remember in the old days when our grandparents used to tell us, don't have a snack before dinner, it'll ruin your meal? Well, all of a sudden, snacking is super acceptable if not encouraged. And eating is encouraged. And obesity is skyrocketing. So you're telling me that I'm crazy when you're eating 6 meals a day. Let's think again. Here's another thing. I never interfere with the way that you eat. So if you want to eat those 3 meals a day and snack every 2 hours, that's up to you. You can do that. It's your body. You make your own choices. If that's a lifestyle that works for you and you're healthy, you go for it. I will never interfere with what you do. But in return, all I ask for is the same respect. That if I want to live a certain lifestyle and not eat as much and save my meals for the time that are actual social gatherings and meal times, I would expect you not to interfere. Because a lot of the time, people think that people who are fasting have an eating disorder, that it's unhealthy, that they're going to gain all the weight back, that it's unsustainable. But the truth is, it's very sustainable. At least this way of eating has been proven by our ancestors who have been eating with this pattern of eating for the past hundreds of thousands of years. So remember that before you snack 6 times a day and tell me that I'm unhealthy. I don't appreciate fast shaming. I think we can all agree that it's not crazy, but I highly encourage you to go do some research. And just in case you're not convinced yet, let me list off a few of the many benefits of fasting. Number 1, it decreases the chances of developing illnesses. So you know common illnesses like high blood pressure, type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, obesity, heart disease. It significantly decreases your chances of developing those illnesses. Number 2, it improves your brain function. So it improves your cognitive function. It makes you more mentally clear. It makes you more sharp. It makes you more focused. It actually gives you a lot more energy overall. So it's great for your mind and it's great for your brain. Number 3, it helps prevent cancer. Because when we're fasting, whether it's intermittent fasting or water fasting, it promotes something called autophagy in your body. And autophagy is when your body's actually cannibalizing the old cells, recycling the ones it can use, and regenerating new cells. And this takes care of old cells, and this takes care of bad cells. So you're actually helping your body overall, and it helps prevent cancer in the long run. Apparently, fasting is even a way to make chemo treatments more effective during the treatment of cancer. So think about that. Number 4, it promotes longevity. So you're gonna live a longer, healthier life because it's proven that the less you eat, the longer you live. So think about that for a second. The less you eat, the longer you live. So the typical lifestyle that we're prescribed to by society saying we should eat 3 meals a day and snacks, it's actually gonna make you live a shorter life. So don't think fasting's so crazy. There's a lot of science behind it as well. Another thing it does is that it promotes anti-aging. So even whether it's with your body or whether it's with your skin, it's like a natural Botox for your body. It heals scar tissue, it helps with wrinkles, it helps you promote nice, clear, flawless, glowing skin. So that's another food for thought that you could think about before you think fasting's crazy. Number 5, fasting actually helps you to develop a healthier gut. Because when you have too much bad bacteria in your gut microbiome, it's actually going to cause different things like ADHD, stress, anxiety, depression, and a lot of other things that all come from the gut. So one thing that we've heard over and over and over from people who are fasting is that it actually makes them feel very free. No stress, a lot more clear, and a lot less symptoms of depression, stress, and anxiety. So whether some people actually just use it as a way of detoxing their brain, feeling lighter and feeling less stressed on a day-to-day basis to feel more peaceful and meditate throughout the day, that's something that we should encourage instead of shaming it. Number 6, something that you might not know about unless you do research is that obesity is primarily caused by insulin resistance. So by fasting, you actually decrease the insulin resistance. When you decrease the insulin resistance, your body is actually able to access those fat stores in your body and eat them up. Because on a day-to-day basis, when we're feeding too much, our body stores the fat all the time because it's constantly getting a new supply of food. So when you're fasting, if you decrease the insulin resistance, all of a sudden your body gets to tap into this whole new world of fat stores that you have and eats them up. So that way you actually decrease your obesity and you decrease your insulin resistance. If you want someone to live a longer, healthier, happier, more peaceful life, fasting is actually such a good thing. So next time you think of fast shaming someone or shaming someone based on what their eating habits are, maybe you should step back and do a little bit of research before you accuse them of being unhealthy, of all these other things that you shouldn't be accusing them of because they never wanted to accuse you of anything and interfere with your eating habits. So they just simply want to give you the knowledge to do your research yourself and come up to a decision about if it works for you. Most people who are fasting, they like to tell people about it because it makes them feel so good. And when you feel good, you want to share it with your friends and family and colleagues so other people can feel good. But a lot of the time, we start feeling like we should repress these feelings because we get such a negative kickback from it. So remember this video next time you hear about someone fasting. Someone who's eating only one meal a day. Even the CEO of Twitter is eating one meal a day only. So before you shame someone based on their eating, remember, don't knock it till you try it. That's what they say, right? And just a little side note, well, I'm actually on day 17 of an extended water fast. Yeah, you got that right. That does mean that I have not eaten a single piece of food, 0 calories, for the last 17 days. Now, do I look like a zombie? Well, I hope not. Don't troll me. Do I look like I'm tired? I feel like my skin is glowing. I used to be 225 pounds until I discovered fasting. My general lifestyle is that I only eat one meal a day, and I've been eating one meal a day for the past year and a half. I don't eat breakfast, I don't eat snacks, I don't eat lunch, I just eat a nice big meal once a day. And I've been doing this for over a year and a half. And the first time I heard about it, I thought it was crazy too. But then I dug deeper, and it's been the most sustainable thing to keep my weight off and lose weight that I've ever encountered in my life. I've yo-yoed so much in my life. Trust me, I've tried the 5 meals a day and crazy workouts, and I've tried the exercise programs, I've tried the shakes, I've tried the Jenny Craig's and the Nutrisystems. None of them work because you yo-yo back, because you don't actually solve the root cause of obesity, which I just mentioned was the insulin resistance. So now I found fasting, and I've dropped 70 pounds. 70 pounds of fat that I've dropped. And this all under a year and a half. So really, do you still think fasting's crazy? Do I look like I'm unhealthy to you? Because trust me, when I was 225 pounds, I was unhealthy. But nobody ever told me that eating at my desk was unhealthy or that gorging myself in candy was unhealthy. Nobody ever said a word. And now that I'm doing something well for myself and trying to be healthier, a lot of people think it's crazy. So let me know what you think after this video. Do you still think fasting is crazy? That's okay. It might take some time to convince you. But let me know, do some research, and make sure you check with your doctor to get that green light if you want to attempt fasting or any type of protocol for fasting, whether it's intermittent fasting or water fasting. Because there still are a certain group of people that shouldn't do it. People who are breastfeeding, people who are pregnant, people who are currently on medication, people with pre-existing health conditions, all need to check with their doctors. So here's my food for thought for today. Let's please start a movement and end this fast shaming once and for all. No more fast shaming. I hope you guys like this video. Have a wonderful day. If you guys are fasting, let me know down in the comments below. If you have ever tried fasting, let me know down in the comments below. If I've managed to answer any of your questions, then let me know down in the comments below. I am opening to answer whatever questions that you might have. So share this with your friends if you're someone who's fasting who doesn't have that support system around you. If your friends, colleagues, family are judging you for fasting, share this video with them. Let me know what you're up to down in the comments. I reply to every single one. Have a nice day, happy fasting, and remember, don't knock it till you try it. Bye.